Well, what a perfect way to start this review off. What is that, Go-Go Power Rangers, or is that Kim Possible?
Oh, you know it's Power Rangers.
Alright.
You're Power Rangers. And by Power Rangers, I mean the first 2 seasons of Power Rangers. Everything else is bullshit.
Because we were going to really picky.
Yes.
So that's our review of the Power Ranger series.
You know what? One of these days we should get that big box set that they did, and we should watch them all.
Yeah.
I think that'd be amazing. I will come back out of retirement for that.
Alright,
I will do that.
So, you got to kind of run out of retirement now from his busy Hollywood life. For as long as he can.
It's not that busy. I did a show for 8 weeks called Happily Whatever After, and it was amazing, and it was fun, and it was right.
Okay.
It was right where Sunset Boulevard was, and right where Hollywood Boulevard was. So, like, all the movie premieres are happening over here. I got a lot of people to see the show, so it was fun. But that was all I did this summer. Like, I did 8 weeks of that, and I got like no calls for auditions except for maybe once or twice. So.
Well, now you're on this show where I am not paying you. Although I wish I could be. I wish I could.
You know what? The conversation is payment enough.
All right, but if you'd like to make PR members, go to our Patreon.com at patreon.com/MichaelCompton.
Do it.
Do it now. So we are here to talk about another movie where my cultural lack of knowledge really bites me in the ass.
But it will also be your strength.
It will be my strength.
This is what I'm saying.
This is why I brought you on, because you are our resident cultural mastermind / person in the person in the music industry as well.
Absolutely.
Who knows all the ins and outs that I don't. So Muhan was supposed to be with us today, but he was sick, unfortunately, so he couldn't make it.
Right.
So it's like, Ron, let's do it me. So let's do you and I.
So we're going to review a movie that is very close and dear to my heart because of my ties to the music industry. I've been a rapper since I was 11, and I've also been an actor as long as that time has existed as well. So for me, Straight Outta Compton is a beautiful way to encapsulate these 2 experiences that I have. And I was shocked that the movie got made.
Yeah,
because
it's kind of like Dear White People. Like, you can't believe, especially as authentically as it is.
Right. Well. Also, not only is this authentic and so true to what actually happened, this actually happened, and it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I was amazed, because I was like, these are like fresh wounds for somebody.
Yeah, like even when I was looking it up, like online, it's like, okay, how accurate is this really? Like people's like, this is like the most accurate biographies you'll see that's come out in the past couple years.
Yes. Absolutely, from the ground up.
Covered with dogs right now. I apologize. If you want to kick her away from looking at your foot, you can.
I'm totally good. Okay,
Shane,
I'm totally good. I'm getting to know you. I'm getting to know you, and you are very fluffy. You're like a walking pillow, and I find that adorable and also terrifying.
I don't know if you can see their faces. You just like 2 like black balls on the
basically.
chair. All right, so Straight Outta Compton. Yeah, like even I not hip hop and rap is not my genre of choice. Mm-hmm. Like on average, I'm more of an indie guy, which makes me like an incredible hippie, and I've realized kind of recently that I kind of am.
Hey, it's all good, man.
But even I was like, I thought this was a really good movie. And I think we were talking about this before. I probably would not have liked this movie as much as I did a year ago.
Right.
Because I lack the knowledge that I have now about the way our culture is, and the conversation you and I have really been enlightening in that regard.
Okay.
As far as racial prejudice goes, and the way our unfortunately our society kind of works as far as racism and all that stuff works. That's been eye-opening for me, because as we both know, I am loaded with white privilege, and I'll be the first to admit it.
But you know what? That's all right. Because white privilege is not self-bought. It's something that's acquired over time. Mm-hmm. You had no way of knowing that's how your life would be when you were born.
Well, that's why I enjoy our conversations. Even though it's a reality and a cultural knowledge, I will never pretend to understand, because there's no way I can, and I feel like it would be insulting to suggest that I do understand it. But I feel like at least through our conversation, I can at least try to understand it a little more.
And you will. And while we're on that topic of you being the indie guy, I mean, hip hop's long, hollow tradition of telling it like it is comes from indie rock music. It comes from folk music. It comes from Bob Dylan. It comes from, Johnny Cash.
Or Hank Williams.
Yeah, Hank Williams, all that kind of stuff. All of that influence is still in hip hop. Well, I thought it was funny that one time Ice-T, 80s rapper, he likened hip hop to country music. And nobody had ever really made that comparison before because it's all about your neighborhood. It's all about the people you kick it with. It's all about how you like to do things. And if you don't like it, then screw you, right?
If Mr. Rogers was a gangster hip hop artist,
you know, Mr. Rogers was kind of thug. If he ever rolled up those sweaters, if he had like arm tattoos up to here, right?
Hey, Mr. Rogers was a saint.
So, but see, Mr. Rogers, most thugs are saints.
Like, the difference between Mr. Rogers and NWA is, like, Mr. Rogers is like, hey there, neighbor. Welcome to my neighborhood. Gangster version would be, hey, neighbor. Get the fuck out of my neighborhood.
Right? Yeah, but see, what would happen if some dude tried to break into Mr. Rogers' house, though? We'll never know.
Right? The puppets come alive.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that guy was gangster. He was hiding something.
No, it's like Mr. Rogers is one of the best people ever to live.
I love that guy.
But anyway,
I love that guy. And plus, what do you know about Mr. Rogers? That was like new episodes when I was a kid.
Dude, like I've done research on Mr. Rogers. Like, it's seen the incredible things he's done in the past. Guy's a fucking saint.
He's amazing. I know.
Like, he actually convinced Court to continue promoting and financing PBS just by being Mr. Rogers.
I mean, what
he brought people at the Oscar or like the Emmys to tears just by saying, let's just all have a moment of silence, just remember how good we are as people. It's like, just love yourself for a minute. And that brought some celebrities to tears.
Right. Although let's face it, celebrities are prone to tears.
Point. Right. But anywho. Right. So back to Outta Compton. This biopic does what, in my opinion, really good biopics do, which is it doesn't focus on the message, which a lot of bad biopics do. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones that are like, that try to talk about cultural implications, but fail because that's all they talk about.
Right.
And it stops being about the people and more about preaching the message, which loses the attention of the audience. This is when the characters come, the people and the artists come first.
And the message means nothing, like hip-hop, the message means nothing without the people who deliver it.
Exactly. And this one is all about the people, the NWA, it's all about Dr. Dre and Eazy, and like Eazy.
It's Eazy-E and Ice Cube.
And
DJ Ren.
And the other two had like 5 lines in the whole movie.
Well, see, I'm glad that they got represented at all because they were still integral parts of the group. You know what I mean? Like, few people know that MC Ren, the dark-skinned dude, he was supposed to be the front man of NWA. It just so happened that Eazy-E got in the studio one day and did the song. You saw the movie, you know, right? It just so happens that that's how it came about, right?
It also helps that just the chemistry and the acting behind the main people of the NWA is so fantastic.
True.
And it drives the movie. Even the more some of the parts I felt like kind of dragged on a little bit. Because there were parts, like, the movie's 2.5 hours long.
Right.
So it's like, there were parts that did drag a little bit, but even like the chemistry between all the characters is so freaking good, and you so believe that they have this relationship with each other.
It's true. The casting was top notch.
Oh my god, yeah. The guy who played Ice Cube so perfectly encapsulated.
Well, like, spoiler alert, the guy who played Ice Cube is Ice Cube's son.
Really?
Yes.
That explains so much.
He looks and talks exactly like that motherfucker.
And like, he has the exact same facial expressions.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, it's kind of creepy.
It's his son. His name, if look in the credits, Ice Cube's real name is O'Shea Jackson, and his son's name is O'Shea Jackson Jr. He's in the credits. It's his son, man. He's actually the only one, I think, of all of the families of the remaining members that actually is in the movie as one of the members. Right, I think Dre's son wanted to do it as well, but ended up not doing it or something like that. Or he could be in the movie. I don't know.
Like, Dad, why am I in the movie? You should have done better. Your audition. Not my fault. You're a failure. Get back to whatever you do.
That conversation must have been awkward. Why? How come I'm not in the movie? Well, the casting director said that you just lacked the presence that we needed to bring to my movie about gangster rap.
It's like, actually,
right?
It's like, have you ever watched Community?
I have not, but I know of it.
Okay.
I know, and I like Donald Glover and all them, right?
Well, yeah, but they've like Chevy Chase,
Mr. Gambino,
like Chevy Chase. Who I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big Chevy Chase fan because he's a jackass in real life.
Me neither. Yeah.
But there is one funny scene in there where he has like. He keeps playing. He's a failed star, basically. But he keeps bragging like he made it big. But apparently, his dad used to run this commercial where he played himself and his son. And then, like as they're filming it, the actual son comes in and starts doing. He goes, "Pierce, what are you doing here?" He goes, "I want to be in the commercial, Dad." "Then you should have done better your audition. Get back over there."
That's hilarious.
And then he looks to like his fake son and goes, "And what's your name, son?" He goes, "Ronald." "You're a good boy, Ronald." Stares at Pierce.
That's hilarious.
But anyway, so there's like.
But yeah, top notch aesthetics, top notch accuracy of the time in which it occurs. Mm-hmm. I mean, it didn't get any realer than Compton in 1986, and they faithfully recreated it. I was alive, so I know.
I think I was born. I was born in 91, so like
okay, so as when they were already established and famous was when you were
yeah,
born,
yeah.
right?
So I missed that whole movement,
right?
Obviously.
Well, you didn't miss it. It was a big part of your life. You just didn't know it yet.
Yeah,
you know. I mean,
I didn't even have object permanence at the time, so.
Right? And hip hop has permeated everything in pop culture since then.
Nice little transition you did there, by the way. Object permanence. Oh, it permeated in.
Well, yeah. that's why they pay me the big bucks.
That was even scripted, yo.
That's called a smooth ass segue. That's how we do it, right? But yeah, so it's faithfully recreated. The people that lived through it will know right off the bat it is legit, right? And especially. I mean, I'm curious to know what people in LA think, but I was in LA all summer when it came out, and everybody just ranting and raving about how good it was. You know, now disclaimer, I'm a very hip hop purist kind of guy. NWA was not my thing, okay? I know how influential the music was, but I never liked it. Like I never bumped it out my window at 2 a.m. You know, because although I did, Dre had a lasting impact on me when he went solo. He's some of the first music that I bought on my own and really listened to, and it definitely did help me grow musically. But NWA, I just wasn't into it, man. I wasn't into, and in Eazy-E's solo work, it was all just about sex and
that's kind of where hip hop and rap loses me.
You know,
I mean, I'm not a big fan to begin with, but I think that's kind of reasons why I was never turned on to it as a kid.
Right.
That's at the time I was growing up. That's all it was just sex and drugs.
Right. Well, because that's how it gets portrayed on the West Coast. You know what I mean? There's a longer, richer.
Oh yeah, and I'm like as I grow older, I become more aware of that. But growing up, that was the most popular ones at the time.
And even in some of NWA's stuff, there were some very deep messages. There was some very sharp political criticism that a lot of people at the time didn't want you to hear. So all they did was just shout, "Oh, it's violent, it's violent, it's violent." No, not all of it. There was some real important stuff in there. You know, especially their first album, right?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of going on based on an argument. This is something I can actually add to this part of the conversation, where every popular form of media has gone through some speculation process like this. Like, even when books were becoming more popular because of the printing press.
Right.
I forget exactly the year it was. I think it was 1941. No, obviously not. Dumb joke. Anyway, so...
Yeah, you're talking about, like, 17, 18...
Yeah, I'm talking, like, way back when. Like, they were saying the exact same shit they say every time a new popular becomes meme. They're saying, "Oh, this encourages children to do this and that and do all these horrible things."
Yeah.
The same thing happened when music came out. "Oh, music encourages other people to do this and that." Or
well, yeah, remember, classical music was the hip-hop music of his time. Mozart, They were like, "Who is this motherfucker?"
Oh, yeah. Bitch, I've seen Amadeus. I know what it is.
Right.
Even though it's historical fiction.
Yeah. Mozart was freestyling, man.
But the same thing with, like, music. The same thing happened with, like, of course, we know the comic books or, like, movies or television shows. Or, like, the new one is video games is a popular hitting target.
Of course.
Even that one's kind of slowly fading away.
Yeah, but I mean, after hip-hop, I mean, you had to blame something, right? So video games is a natural next step. You know?
It's like anytime a new media is introduced and becomes popular, it is immediately attacking people saying it's somehow bad for you.
Right.
Which it very well be, but probably not in the way they're suggesting.
Well, I mean, if we're going to add fuel to that fire, then we could just say life is bad for you. Don't do it. You know what I mean? Life is bad for you because if you go outside, chances are you're gonna see something you like. You're gonna see about 10 things you don't.
Like, don't live.
You know?
Living is the leading course of death. It is 100% mortality rate. Do not live.
Exactly. If you go outside and live, eventually you're gonna die.
Do not leave your father's testicles. Stay right there.
Whoa, how do we get to dad's testicles?
Well, technically that's where the journey begins.
True. Well, you could argue that you're in the egg, right? And then,
I guess it depends whether what happened.
It's a trade-off.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right. What came first, the squiggly line or the oval?
That's an uncomfortable topic we can save for another video.
I'm not uncomfortable. I'll talk about whatever. But that has nothing to do with this movie.
Absolutely nothing. The tangents. We never do that in this show.
Of course not.
But going back to the movie though, like I said, though, like it is very culture accurate, and it's very fascinating for someone like me who is not aware of that culture. So I speak from that perspective and the fact that there is a lot to learn from here. Especially, it helps that it's so damn accurate. Like this is one of the first movies I can see. Like, okay, I actually believe everything that's happening. I believe that a lot of it actually occurred, and that makes it for me. That's more. I can learn more from that.
And what's cool about it for a person like me who grew up in the culture and who grew up in the time that it happened is that it makes me feel so nostalgic. Mm-hmm. Like when I hear the songs, I remember exactly where I was the first time I heard that song. You know, I remember all of the little newspaper clippings and the news bulletins that they had in the movie. Mm-hmm. Some of them were real from that time, and you could see like newscasters who do like morning shows now, being serious reporters talking about violence in Compton, blah 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 blah, right? And it was just so very nostalgic to me to see the imagery that represents parts of my life and how I grew up and what I grew up seeing. You know. It was really cool.
Well, I mean, and this is kind of a side note, because that's not anything in the movie precisely, is that this movie is a hit.
It is a hit.
That is a very good thing.
That is a very good thing because like I said, I'm shocked, number one, that this movie got made. Number two, that the people who were involved were actually people in the group, right? And number three, that yes, it's a hit. This is a movie about, at its core, this is a movie about how the violence and the impoverished neighborhoods of black communities in hip-hop became something more than the sum of its parts. Yep. You know?
And which one like this and Selma, again, is a movie that came out that kind of tackled different. That movie was also a huge hit. So it's the fact that this is like, people want to learn more about this, and I think like this, people want to become more educated about this, and that's a very good sign. Yeah,
and I'd be very surprised if Straight Outta Compton doesn't go to the Oscars this year.
I would be insanely surprised too, because again, the performances are so damn good.
Well, yeah, especially Ice Cube's son, dude. I can't say enough about that.
Like, I know, it was scary.
If you watch it, it's like at first you're wondering if they digitized him.
You know, it gets scary towards the end. You get more towards modern day Ice Cube, and you realize the actor has even down to his fucking lip movements,
right? And
down
smile,
to a
everything.
T. Everything. It's scary.
But yeah. So O'Shea Jackson Jr. Hats off to you, bro.
Excellent damn work.
Also, I gotta say the guy who played Eazy-E.
Oh, he did a great job.
So accurate.
Like I don't know anything about Eazy-E because that was before my time. So like Eazy-E is not one of I'm familiar with.
But yeah. Well, I mean, Eazy-E, he's sort of like the figurehead of that movement that began NWA. And I was telling you this off camera earlier. Yeah. What's so funny about NWA was that when you looked at them as a group, and I'm just talking about musically, Dre always looked so hardcore. Ice Cube always looked so hardcore. But Eazy-E, he looked like he was a faker. He looked like he didn't really belong there, right? He looked like, okay, here's some short dude talking his shit, right? But it turns out that Eazy-E was actually the realest kind of gangster dude there. You know what I mean? And the rest of them were all just trying to figure out their lives and stuff. But Eazy-E sold drugs. He actually did those things that he talked about. So I always thought that was so funny because growing up as a young guy, I always thought like, man, he's something not right about him. He looks off.
Yeah, because he's the one that actually did the shit.
Right, but he's the one that actually did the shit. And he felt uncomfortable portraying it, right?
Yeah.
So it's so funny how that works out. Right. It's so funny how that works out, man. It's so funny.
Oh man, but like, and let's talk about Paul Giamatti for a little bit because
Okay.
this has been a rough year for Paul Giamatti. I don't know.
Explain.
Okay, because I've seen him in 2 or 3 movies this year alone, and I have hated him in both those movies.
Okay.
And I love Paul Giamatti. He's a great actor.
The first time I saw him was The Negotiator, and he was amazing.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, he had like a little supporting role in that.
Yeah, he was in San Andreas, which is kind of self-explanatory. That wasn't his fault.
I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna.
Don't. But, I mean, I love the Dwayne The Rock Johnson. But
me too, but I had that pegged for a stinker.
No, it sucked. But anyway, and then he did Love and Mercy, which was
what was that?
That was another musical biopic from one of the Beach Boys.
It was
what's his name?
Brian something.
Yeah, it was a weird dual movie where half the movie was told in present day with John Cusack playing the character,
okay,
and the other half was Paul Dano.
Doing back then.
Like doing back then. He was much better than John Cusack, to be honest. But anywho, Paul Giamatti also kind of played a sleazy person working with the music person, except that one he was much more cartoonishly evil.
I see.
And that one was, for me, he's one of those roles in the movie where I just kind of sat there and went, ugh, every time he comes up on stage. It's like, oh, God, I got to do more Paul Giamatti hamming it up. Ugh. And not the fun kind, like Amazing Spider-Man 2 hamming up.
Right.
Like,
Rhino.
Like the Rhino. I loved it as the Rhino. I don't care what
I thought it was good, yeah.
I am the Rhino. It was great. But this one is a role like I felt he did legitimately very good at. And it wasn't just a cartoonishly evil agent role like they could have very easly painted him as.
I will agree with you 80% of the way. But
I mean, it's still like kind of evil and shady as shit.
Well, the music business is that way. Number one, number two, the guys who were dealing with NWA at the time, they were super shady.
Oh yeah,
super shady. So I totally understand that. But what rubbed me the wrong way was not his portrayal through the whole movie until the end.
Oh, that last scene.
Yeah, when Eazy-E comes in and fires him.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
When Eazy-E comes in and fires him, it seems like he's having an uncharacteristic reaction to the news that he's getting. It seems like he's overplaying it.
Maybe.
Didn't it seem to? Because I watched it fresh today. I've seen it twice now, and what I get from it almost like he had like some sort of crack dependency on Eazy-E or something.
The way I kind of interpret it is the fact that as far as we as the audience know, he's his only client. So I kind of take more as him panicking because he realized, crap, my entire source of income is going away. So,
yeah, but it seemed more than that. It seemed like a lover was leaving him or something.
I guess.
You know what I mean? He's you know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know. Dump your agent. Let's see what happens there. Maybe. I'm kidding. Don't actually do that.
I'm not doing that. If you see this, no.
No, he's not doing that.
We're good.
We're good.
All right. But yeah,
call me.
just until the end, when I thought it was a very understated performance all the way through. He wasn't there so much that you notice. He fulfilled, his function. But that last, I was like,
I don't know.
It just kind of sputtered out.
With it. I see what you're saying, and I do kind of agree with you. That being said, I kind of justified it as him more of his impulsively panicking more than anything else, and trying to salvage it as much as possible.
Well, also to be fair, Paul Giamatti had one of the hardest jobs in the film. Was because to be culturally to be that white dude that understands.
Yeah.
It is one of the heaviest burdens ever, right?
Yeah.
Because you got remember they're outside of the studio getting cuffed. You're like the only guy that could speak for these guys. So the dimensions and the complexity of that kind of a performance, it'll probably wear on you after a while.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get that after. I mean, he's an actor of the highest order. He played his role the way he should have. I was just saying, just at the end, it just seemed like it was a little much.
Oddly, the scene with him that did kind of bother me, though, was the scene with him and Ice Cube. When that one, wasn't so much Paul Giamatti's fault, but it was more like the lighting was this really weird shadow where the light was just going above his eyes, so he did look characteristic like a shady.
He tried to look super shady.
That's sign the contract, Ice Cube. Everyone's already done it.
Right.
Just this stereotypical kind of evil presence.
I think, and remember...
And that went through Ice Cube. I was like, the lighting here is weird.
Yeah.
I shouldn't sign this.
Yeah, I know. And Ice Cube walks in. What's with the Godfather shit? You know? No, I feel you there. But remember that this story is being told by the people who lived it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Ice Cube had a hand in this. Mm-hmm. So when he did it, he was like, "Okay, this is how it felt."
Maybe. You know what I mean? That's a fair argument.
This is how it felt. Maybe it's not how it really was, but this is definitely how it felt to me.
Fair enough.
You know, and so many times we see these kind of things from the white man's perspective, right? Yeah. We're seeing it from this guy from the hood who doesn't know anything about contracts going in. It's probably scary.
Yeah. And like that's another nicer trend I'm noticing in Hollywood that is slowly building traction between like Dear White People and Selma and now this movie. We are seeing more like black people in the leading role.
We're shifting perspectives here.
Yeah, and that's a very good thing.
Definitely are.
Especially for Hollywood, which is renownedly known for its stereotypes and its archetypes all the terrible things.
We could do a whole episode just on that.
Oh yeah, we could just
Okay.
We gotta do a whole 2 episodes just on how Adam Sandler perceives stereotypes and archetypes.
Wow. Yeah, I'm still mad at him for the Carl Weathers thing, man. Although I laughed just as hard as anybody, man. Like Happy Gilmore with the wooden hand and all that stuff.
I'm not a big Happy Madison fan.
I love Happy Gilmore. I thought the movie was funny, but yeah, like you guys shouldn't be surprised about Adam Sandler. He's had racially tinged shit in his movies since they began.
Oh yeah.
You know, he always has. It's very subtle. It's very little things here and there. I mean, they're funny.
Less so in modern day.
Yeah,
like that's my boy.
No, didn't he just get in trouble for the Native American jokes?
Yeah, like I said, that's I meant less subtle.
Yeah. And
significantly less subtle. Like it's going back as far as like the only one I've seen, Race Memory. That's My Boy had a lot of racism in there too.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that one.
Don't ever worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
All right.
And considering the shit I've watched on this show.
Until the next one.
That's the one that offended me on such a deep moral level.
Really?
Yeah, like I watched it for 5 minutes and I got so seethed with rage that I had to stop it, and then I said, "Shit! Now I have to review this because something that gets this strong of a reaction has to be talked about."
Right.
Which that video is on our blogspot.
Okay, I'm gonna go back and watch it.
Yeah, because it's all about.
You should too.
It's all about pedophilia. We're going to encourage that. Not kidding. Yeah. Anyway, back to Straight to Compton.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm getting flashes of The Lawyer. You remember that? The Robert Downey Jr. sleeping with his
the judge
or the judge or whatever they call it.
Yeah, that was the movie. I know exactly what you're talking about. Where did he just sleep with his daughter?
That is fucked up. And they not only do they do it once, they refer back to it like 2-3 times.
Like,
right?
Why did this subplot make it past the first draft?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Straight out of Compton. Straight out of Compton. But honestly, you know, like I said, there's not much to say in criticism of the piece.
No, there's really not.
There really isn't.
Like, the only thing you can really complain about is just the few moments where it is historically inaccurate. And, like, the only one I read about before we filmed this video was the one when they saying "fuck the police" with the cops in the audience. They did get arrested that night, but it didn't happen immediately after the concert.
Right, it didn't happen immediately after the concert.
They actually got arrested at the bottom of the hotel when they came down to pick some girls up and stuff like that. That's when they got arrested. Right. But I get why they did it here because it adds a more dramatic effect.
Well, yeah, they did it, but I think what they did was to show the sentiment of the crowd more than...
Yeah, and it gets the point across stronger than if you did it the actual historical way. So I get why they did that. Yeah.
So I'm going to share, now that we've reached new levels of understanding blackness on this program, all right, we've done this a couple of times, I'm going to share with you my one nitpicky little issue with the film.
Okay, go for it.
And this is the issue that I have with... all predominantly black films that have come out in the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, keeping in mind, if you guys don't understand how the process of film works, right, there's a guy who comes up with the script, right? Now, the guy who comes up with the script doesn't always necessarily make the final draft of the script. It usually goes through 2 or 3 iterations where it's rewritten by other people, okay? And not all of those people have the piece's interest at heart. They are paid to do this, right? So what I've noticed is in the trend of black films, that cover the black experience, with few exceptions, there are these times where the exposition, the story that they're trying to tell, bleeds into the dialogue because they can't figure out a creative way of saying it.
Yeah.
And I can't stand that shit. I'll make an example. Did you watch 42, the Jackie Robinson movie?
Unfortunately, that was one we couldn't watch.
You couldn't watch it? Okay.
Because we ran out of time.
Well, if you ever watch it, watch for this scene. It's right in the very beginning of the movie. It's where Jackie Robinson is playing in the Negro League and he makes a transition and he's doing all this stuff, right? And there's this little black kid watching him in the stands. And they close up on the black kid and the little black kid goes, "Oh God, please just give Jackie one chance to show how good he is." Da, 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 da. And I'm like, Hollywood, fuck you. Okay? Black people don't do that shit in public like that. Bleeding exposition out of everything. Okay? Figure out a way. Okay, like a good example would be this. That kid did not have to say that shit. It could have been on his face. He could have given a subtle gesture. He could have looked out into the crowd and showed his emotions. It could have been sort of similar to Lord of the Rings and in Fellowship of the Ring, where Frodo hears the fireworks and the big smile comes across his face and he goes running up. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You could tell a story without fucking saying it out loud.
Like, actually, like, while you're on that, on the topic, one of the best examples I can think of while you're talking about that is a movie called Nebraska that came out, I think, last year, which is a Alexander Pine movie. Right. I don't know if you're familiar with Alexander Pine's work. It
sounds familiar, but
he directed The Descendants, Election.
Election, I've seen.
Yeah, he directed that one.
The Bill Murray one, way back.
I don't know if it's. I'm not thinking of Bill Murray. Like this
was Bill. Well, he wasn't.
This was a Reese Witherspoon movie.
Yeah, no, I know she's in the movie, but I'm saying I'm pretty sure he's in Election. He's not like the focal point.
He was also in. He also directed a movie with Jack Nicholson. I forget what it's called. It was one of his more serious movies.
Okay.
But anywho, one of my favorite directors. Anywho, he also directed The Descendants with George Clooney.
I see.
The one that was in Hawaii.
Okay.
Yeah. Anywho, Nebraska is this great scene where it's all about this senior guy who's roped into this one of those stupid letter scams. He believes it's totally true, and his son is like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll take him to Nebraska and we'll just sort this stuff out. So it's a road trip movie, but on the way they pass by his old childhood home, which is now in shambles. It's abandoned. And there's a part where I guess their whole family comes out for the weekend to kind of explore this hometown, and they go into the house. And there's a part where they talk about how he used to have this little baby sister that unfortunately died when she was still a baby.
Right.
And they walk into the room and he reads oh yeah, this is where they used to sleep. The crib used to be right over there. And the son just looks at dad were you there, Dad? And he goes, I was. Yes, I was. And everyone else leaves the room, but he lingers just for a second. And he looks around the room, and just the look on his face.
It tells the whole story.
Tells the entire story.
That's what I'm saying.
In a 5-second span.
That's what I'm saying. But it's almost like white writers don't know how to do that for black people yet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not to a fault. Like I said, Straight Outta Compton is a great movie. Yeah. And 42 is a great movie. I like that movie too. Harrison Ford, yeah, man. And the dude who played Jackie Robinson and James Brown and everybody else, he's the man. But what I'm saying is sometimes when that script gets passed around and it gets to somebody who hasn't had the experience, they write it in a way that's a bit too presentational. And the example I have from NWA is the very, very beginning where Dre has the headphones on and he's listening to My Life in the Sunshine.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And his mom wakes him up and gives him this big old lecture, that,
why did you miss that interview? And,
right. And it comes to a point where she's no longer a character in the movie. It's she's like walking plot.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, when I had you, I was 16, and somebody told me I wasn't gonna be shit, and and this is why black people in Compton are like this because blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? And I'm like, and
yeah, those characters.
And she did her best with the script. It's not her fault, but I just wanted to say, shut the fuck up.
It's like the exposition comes down and goes bippity boppity boo.
Yeah. Writers, make people be characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, give them a character to play. Don't just make them spew the plot so you can move the movie forward so you can get to the parts that are really good. You know what I'm saying? And this is happening more and more in black movies. It's, again, I'm totally nitpicking. It's like a needle in a haystack. I can point it out because I am black and I've seen 2 decades worth of black film, you know, and even beyond that, you know, I've studied more than that when I was going for my degree. So like, just stop.
To be fair, it happens
Just
a lot
don't
in
do
white
it.
guy movies too.
Yes, well that's what I'm saying. It's not only black people movies, but I'm saying because we're shifting perspectives here, like we said,
true, yeah.
and black people are getting more chances and opportunities to tell these stories. We're seeing it a little more.
That's true.
You know, and it just it kills the experience for me in that moment. Didn't kill the whole experience.
Oh god, no! Like if that was enough, then that'd be. There are some movies where it's like absurdly painful to watch, and that kind of kills the movie. Like there's some movie that goes, "Oh, what do you want from the grocery store?" Grocery stores. You know, when I was 8 years old, I met this man there once, and blah 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 blah. It's like, you could have just said eggs.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. And you know what's funny is that there are some people who find creative ways to mock that kind of bleeding
True.
exposition.
Yeah. I'm sure
like-
Edgar Wright could find a clever way.
like the Dark Knight. Right,
Which one
when
was
Heath
the
Ledger, does Joker, every time
that
he
was
breaks into,
fucking brilliant.
Where you can bring, you wanna know how I got these scars?
But that was fucking brilliant.
Like all the fake bullshit exposition, I love it. And he tells a different story every time.
Well, I think that's whenever the movie came out, everyone's like, it's like that was the reaction. He was like, "Oh, really? That you're gonna do the exposition that painfully? Okay." Then the story changes. It goes, "Oh shit, that's actually really fucking clever."
It's funny, dude. I like it. I like it when it's used as a device of a device, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would be my only pet peeve of the movie is that sometimes when there are characters that the writers did not know how to portray properly, you know, and let's be fair. There's not a whole lot of positive black female role models on film that you could really look back at, right?
Yeah.
So. I could see how that would be a problem, but I noticed, I saw.
No, like this is a movie I'm really glad we made time to find the review because I was actually initially going to skip this because of time constraints.
Oh,
Because like
I know.
when this movie came out, I was just about to leave for a trip to Texas for a week,
okay.
and then I came back from that. I was home for like 3 days, and then I went off to Seattle for the weekend.
Right.
Which I drove to, by the way. That was a fun time.
That's crazy.
That video is also on YouTube. Go watch that.
I will watch it.
It's all about me.
You should too.
And then going back, and then like we got lucky this week because there's fucking nothing worth in theaters right now.
Well,
Like,
see,
this is it.
because I was in LA. You think I go see a bunch of movies, right? No, I was working the whole time doing theater. I didn't get to see any movies. Like Ant-Man came out, Jurassic Park came out, all this shit came out. I was seeing your notifications for, hey, who wants to go see this? I missed so many fucking movies.
Well, not lately.
So
Not lately. Because to be fair, I put those publications every week. Most of the time I just like on Rotten Tomato. It goes, okay, what's the biggest thing out this week? It's like, oh, really? The Owen Wilson movie? Okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, I'm kind of glad we missed that one because that one looked.
I'm kind of glad we missed Owen Wilson in general. I
don't hate Owen Wilson.
He shows up. I think
He was okay in Inherent Vice.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's just something about him. It's just like why are you here, dude? There's so many other actors who do what he does better.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, he just couldn't cling to Wes Anderson's back till the day he dies. So like, same kind of. Well, Bill Murray too, but he just kind of does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, if you have these relationships, you know.
I would kill to be in a Wes Anderson movie. That would be fun.
Get your money, man. Owen, I ain't mad at you. Get your money. You see me on the street. Say hello. Put me in one of your movies. I don't hate you, bro. I just don't like you in some movies. That's all. That's all, man.
We need another Shanghai Noon movie. That's what we need.
Don't you dare say that. Horrible. But like I said, we cool. We're good.
And come on the show once sometime.
So yeah, I mean, all in all, Straight Outta Compton. I mean, as far as Hollywood films goes, it's great. As far as black films go, it's a fucking masterpiece. Mm-hmm. So it is whether you like the genre, whether you like the historical period, whether you don't like them, it is an important film. Everybody should watch it. It provides deep coherent understanding of the time in which it portrays, and all of the actors do their job well, and it's all encapsulated in this great film experience that I do not mind sitting down 2 hours to watch. I'm gonna watch it again. I've seen it twice already. I'm gonna watch it again.
Like, for me, like, another thing that's worth noting is you gotta know going into it that it is a largely accurate portrayal of what actually happened in these events. That helps you get to some parts where you kind of feel like, okay, I feel like I've kind of seen this story before in some cases.
Well, yeah, even down to some of the most outlandish parts, they are real. Like, Dre did get arrested on the LA highway for his Lamborghini. Yeah. That was all over MTV News, dude. It was Kurt Loder, Dr. Dre got arrested, blah, blah, blah. I remember where I was when I saw that news report. You know, I remember when he made the transition into Death Row with Tupac and Suge Knight and all that stuff, and Suge Knight was constantly in the press for, you know, just random acts of violence and beating the shit out of people. It was all real, you know. It was all very. I mean, Suge Knight's in jail right now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. You know, and it was all real. I will say that the guy who played Snoop Dogg, he definitely had his mannerisms and his voice down, but did not look a thing like Snoop Dogg.
No, but yeah, kind of like a similar thin face, but that was about it.
But did not look a thing like him, but still good job.
He was only like in 3 scenes, so like it matters all that much. Again, that's a very minor
he does matter.
I mean, Snoop Dogg matters, but as far as like the rest of the story goes,
it's a crucial part of Dr. Dre's history to have him in there, right? So I was glad that he was represented well, but I mean, again, nitpicking.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, like even me not knowing a thing about the genre, like not liking hip hop all that much, not knowing anything about any of the like music history behind this, I still liked it.
I'm gonna prescribe some hip hop for you.
All right,
I'm gonna give you a list of stuff to listen to. I guarantee you'll like it.
Okay, I mean, like even some of the music here, I'll be like, okay, that's catchy. It's not necessarily my thing, but I think it's catchy.
but no, I mean, like if you like indie, if you like really lyrical, deep, thought provoking stuff, there is some hip hop out there for you.
All right, I'll take it.
You know,
you got it.
I'll take a listen. Absolutely.
Send me a list. I'll look up on Spotify. All right, so do you got anything else to add, or?
No, dude. It was a great film. I'm glad that we got a chance to sit here and do this.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I tried to make it happen, and it just didn't happen during the day. I'm glad I got it done tonight.
Yeah, so I'm glad we're gonna be able to do this because we don't know when we'll see you next time.
Probably not, but I am around.
Yep.
I am around, and I got a couple of reviews on here now.
Yeah, you got a small handful. So.
Yeah, it's like what, 4 or 5,
give or take,
something like that. But okay, so are we gonna do trailers?
I missed trailers for me.
You missed trailers. Okay, see, I didn't see any trailers when I went to go see Compton either.
Yeah, so we don't have it on this list.
So we don't have anything. But I mean, the only trailer that matters is Star Wars anyway.
And they're already booking private showings of that at.
So there's a casting call for Star Wars in London. I'm about to submit to do extra work. Like, even if you do, here's the thing. If you do extra work for Star Wars, it's not the same as doing extra work for a different movie. Because, they might make an action figure out of your ass. they might make a trading card out of your ass. They might.
Like, who's this character? He was in the background in that one scene.
right. So the second I saw that, I was like, holy shit! I gotta submit.
You'll appreciate this. Mm-hmm. You'll not gonna believe who I saw at PAX while I was there.
Who'd you see?
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D!
Yes!
Is he in the new movies?
He's not. He's actually made a comment about that. Like, something's missing from this.
See, I saw that, but I didn't know whether he was alluding to his parts in the film or whether he wasn't in them.
I don't think he's in it. I know, I was in my Riddler costume at the time, and I was like, all these cameras are following him around. Like, I didn't know, I couldn't see who it was because I was pretty far away, and I saw the cameras. I was like, who is that? I was like, Billy D. Williams. Oh, shit! Immediately kind of wormed my way around to the front. Like, he liked my Riddler cane. He complimented me on it, shook my hand, walked away. I was like, cool. Today's a good day.
Yeah, dude.
I met Lando.
Dude, Lando's the man. And again, like one of those pioneers for black film that we needed. And he came in right when we needed him. He was very hot in the 70s, man. He was in like everything. I mean, he was so fucking good they let him play Harvey Dent. I mean, come on.
That's true.
You know what I mean? They didn't let black people do shit in Batman before that.
I would have loved to see what he would have done if he eventually became Two-Face.
Oh, well, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted because we never.
The most charming evil villain of all time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Batman. I'd
pay money to see Billy D. Williams lose it. You know what I'm saying? like be on some crazy shit because he's so smooth. You know what I mean? So the dichotomy would have been interesting to see.
Like I think one of my favorite black actors is Kevin James. Though he's one of my favorites.
You think Kevin James? Oh, another one to point out. Speaking of black actors, the black actor that played MC Ren in Straight Outta Compton, he is the hacker from Leverage. You remember that TV show?
Oh God, you're going way back. Yeah,
he played Hardison on Leverage, and I was so happy to see him again because
I knew he looked familiar.
Yeah, he just disappeared, and nobody had heard from him since, and he showed up in one of the biggest movies of the summer.
Yeah.
So props to you.
And by the way, so happy this is one of the biggest movies of the summer. I'm so happy for that. Like actors are like, yes, there's hope, but I mean, granted, it's small and fleeting, but it's still hope.
Well, I don't know, dude. I think this opens the door for a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of hip hop groups with stories that should be told. You
Hopefully,
know?
this is a good opportunity to get to spy that out.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, yeah. Like, I want to see Tribe Called Quest. I want to see Wu-Tang. I want to see the Run DMC story. You know what I mean? The guys who really set it off. I want to see, Sugar Hill Gang. Why not?
Why not?
You know what I mean?
Sugar
Hill Gang will have to be a TV movie though, because that story's kind of short.
It's gonna be like half hour. You can all go home now.
That'd be like a VH1 movie.
Oh God! Do you really want VH1 telling that story though?
I'll have to explain the story to you one time. I'll tell you why it's appropriate.
All right,
why it's appropriate for a VH1 movie.
All right, so I think that's all we got. So I think next week we got I just remembered we have M. Night Shyamalan next week.
Oh, The Visit?
The Visit comes out next week.
Oh man!
I think one reviewer I watched, Cinema Snob, said it best. Where it's like, if it's good, great. If it's bad, great. Either way, you can have a good time.
Bro, like how the mighty have fallen.
Yeah.
Like he's had such a promising career when he started, and just like man, he had 2 really good movies back to back, and he just never found that steam again.
What? No.
Shut up! You're stupid. See, here's the thing. You're a cynical motherfucker. I don't like it when people don't succeed.
No,
this guy's like, yeah.
It's more. No, it's like watching a train wreck. You're sad that it happened, but at the same time, you still kind of want to watch it.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I get it.
I like when people make good movies.
So do I, but sometimes the movie's so bad, you just gotta go. Like, I will still vehemently defend the Ghost Rider movies for that exact reason.
Well, okay, the first Ghost Rider movie was passable. The other 2, like, the fuck are you doing?
The other 2?
I thought there's another one.
No, there's only one other. It said the other 2, so I was like, wait, did they make a third one? I somehow didn't know about it.
I heard that they're making a third one.
Not right now. Like the rights.
I see.
The rights went back to Marvel, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so as far as I know, they're not doing it right now.
Well, like I mean, say what you want about Nicolas Cage, but he has an amazing turnaround. Like once you hear about him being in a movie, it's like out the next month. You know what I'm saying? So I heard there was another Ghost Rider, and I assumed that I was just gonna turn around and it'd be on a movie poster one day.
I love me some Nicolas Cage. Like the only movie, like that was one disappointment. The only disappointing thing, the most disappointing part about Left Behind, which we saw last year.
I didn't even...
even Nicolas Cage looked insanely bored. Every time Nicolas Cage, the man who could scream his way out of anything. Right, he can make any scene entertaining. Like The Wicker Man is still one of the best unintentional comedies ever made.
The best unintentional comedies.
And that movie has Nicolas Cage in a bear suit, runs up to a woman and punches her in the face. It's an amazing hour and a half of cinema.
Dude, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
You know what that reminds me of? There was a comedic moment in the horror movie The Howling. You ever see The Howling?
I never saw. Wait. So I think I may have.
So there's this one. It's unintentionally funny. It's meant to be like a short scare. Like a jump scare, but. This chick is trying to find out some information or whatever. She's going through some filing cabinets and she's feeling out stuff. She's like, "Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, this is interesting." And then she pulls something out and then she feels a hand behind her and the hand behind her takes the file like, "Oh, here, hold this." And then she turns around to a big fucking wolf. Like that shit is hilarious, dude. She's sitting here like, "Oh yeah, this is interesting. Wait a minute."
It's like I think one of my best,
hilarious.
Honestly, one of my favorite Nicolas Cage moments in the past since we started doing this show was in The Croods.
Okay.
Which is actually a part of that movie where it was like for reasons that would be too long to explain in this video, Nicolas Cage ends up alone, locked in a cave with a giant-ass lion that he kind of befriends, that initially tries to eat him, but they make friends. But for some reason, Nicolas Cage, he makes a torch, and he's looking at all these cave paintings he finds on there, because his family's gone beyond this chasm. He's basically left there for dead, which would have been great to actually follow through with that, but they don't. But there's a great part where he's looking at the cave balls, and he starts like, wow, this is amazing. Hold this. And he holds a torch out, and this giant-ass lion paw just goes... and it happens in a split second, and me and Grant were there, and we're going, that is fucking hysterical, and we laughed our ass off. It's on Netflix. It's actually a good movie.
Oh, dude, I would have paid to see that with you and Grant.
That was like way before you joined.
Grant, I heard Grant's getting his weight up too. He's doing a lot of roles and stuff.
He's actually in the Steve Jobs movie with Michael Fassbender.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's actually in the trailer.
Awesome!
He's like in a blink and you miss it scene, but he's there.
No, but that's cool, dude.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like
that's totally cool.
We're like apparently he tells a story about how Michael Fassbender like nearly threw something at his head on accident. Like he was just doing his acting thing, and he goes whoosh, and like barely missed his head, but apparently they had a good laugh about it afterwards.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I was like, dude, you should have gotten
cool, dude.
intro.
Hey, he's got himself in a great position. That's good.
Yeah,
so props to him.
Yeah, Grant's working hard. But yeah, I think we've gone on wild tangents enough for one episode. So thank you very much, Ron. It is always a pleasure, my friend.
It is a pleasure. Now I know what your house looks like.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know. I wish I could say, I paid for this. But, which reminds me, help me actually afford a place as well by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/MichaelTheComicNerd and supporting us so I can actually, pay everyone that comes to see these terrible movies with me and good movies. And
well, speaking of that, you still owe me a couple tickets.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Because I won the bet. You're going to have to go down the playlist to know how I won the bet. I won the bet.
Which movie was that for?
The Equalizer.
Equalizer. That's getting a sequel, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. New bets. New bets.
Yeah. It was a safe bet at the time. All right. So, yeah, let's do it next week for Shyamalan. And there's also a movie called The Good Guy, which movie, it's probably going to suck, but I like the idea behind it.
Who's in it?
It's one of the guys in The Best Man Holiday.
Tay Diggs?
It might be him. Really smooth talking guy. Not him. Basically, it's a movie where it's like taking all these.
Was it the guy that played Rhodey in Iron Man? Terrence Howard?
No, wasn't him.
So Morse Chestnut?
No. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Who is it?
Dorian from Almost Human.
Oh, Dorian. Okay, yes.
He wasn't in Best Man Holiday. He was in the other type of movie.
The old Kevin Hart, right? Yeah. We got Ron's sons on the off camera for wondering who the hell the mysterious voice is.
He's a man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, all right.
The omniscient
The
narrator.
omniscient.
Wow.
Well, that's his part of the credits. Anywho, so
we gotta get you over here one of these days.
One of these days. It's up to you, man. No pressure. But anywho, but it's actually like a concept like, hey, you know those really creepy movies we get lately where the stalker is somehow made to look like the good guy?
Yeah.
What if we treat that like the actual creepy scenario it's meant to be? So like for that concept,
I remember seeing that trailer.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that trailer. Now I know, and it was a great show. I don't know why it got canceled, but then again, it was on Fox. All good shit on Fox gets canceled.
Oh yeah.
So
Hannibal.
everything.
Wait, no, that's NBC.
I can go back. Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Sarah Connor Chronicles is great.
What the fuck? Bring it back.
That's never gonna happen. That's
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Hey,
let's
they
bring back Firefly
Hey, they
while we're
brought
at it.
Firefly back, so fuck it.
Wait, they brought back Firefly?
Yeah, they got a new. I think it's on like Netflix or something. Didn't they just do it?
It's a movie.
Well, they got Serenity a few.
Well, yeah,
back,
Serenity was the movie, but they did something else. There's like some new shit out.
I don't think so. Not that I've heard.
I'm pretty sure.
I know they got an online game, but
I believe so.
Didn't they just do something? I'm pretty sure they just did something.
I gotta look this up now. Okay. Yeah. So, thank you guys for watching. See you all later. Get off my shade.
Peace.
I'm covered in dogs. There we go. Hop off. All right.